Hello everyone, my name is Josh Weldon. I'm here to talk about safety equipment when it comes to the game of football, as far as most common injuries as well. First of all, football is a contact sport. There are injuries every day throughout the league, throughout college football, throughout high school football, throughout youth football as well. The most common injuries include ACL, MCL injuries, torn meniscus, ankle sprains and strains, muscle contusions, torn hamstrings, shoulder tendonitis, shoulder separation or dislocation, and concussions. The biggest two that you hear about in the news are, concussions and ACL injuries. ACL injuries, it's anterior cruciate ligament. Basically, this is a ligament that's located in the center of your knee. Each time you come in to, every time you watch the news or sports center, someone has an ACL injury. It's a dreaded injury. Basically, every time a person has it, they're going to be out for the season. This most of the time requires surgery. And like I said, they're out for the season. They require rehab, and sometimes it takes up to a year for them to fully recover. Sometimes they might not even fully recover and never be the same player they were before, and they might have to retire. There are measures to stop or prevent the injury from happening, although it will happen no matter what. But there are steps to prevent it. First off, proper technique is probably the biggest key right there. But there are freak accidents that happen. But most of the time, there are preventable ways to do it by proper technique and placement of the feet, as far as running or steps or just way they put the feet in. Also, knee braces to help a little bit. They're not going to prevent anything for the most part, but they do help somewhat. Concussions. Basically, you have it's a huge epidemic. Well, not as much as before. The helmet technology has come a long way since the 1920s when we had leather helmets. 1940s and 50s, we started having plastic helmets. And then, present day, the technology is way beyond anything that has ever been before. Basically, foreign players in the NFL, they talk about, there's a huge lawsuit. Basically, there's a discovery of this brand disorder called CTE from having too many blows to the head. So that's why there's been a movement to have better helmets. Also, just like I said, MCL, it's another ligament in the knee. It's just from basically, accidents, whatnot. Best way to combat it is technique. Torn meniscus, Adrian Peterson just had one today. It requires surgery for the most part. Basically, you're going to be out for a long period of time, possibly the season, depending how bad it is. And also less serious, we have ankle sprains and strains that happen a lot. Sometimes a player can fight through it. Sometimes they can go up to, be out for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. Muscle contusions happen pretty regularly. Sometimes you don't hear about it because it's not that serious. Torn hamstring, especially if you're like a running back or wide receiver, you lose speed like crazy. Best way to combat this is proper technique and form. And that's pretty much how you do that. Shoulder tendonitis, people hitting them with shoulders over the years, they're eventually going to have tendonitis, arthritis on their shoulders. You have shoulder separation as well. Someone giving big hits or getting hit. Sometimes it does require surgery and can develop into something more as far as arthritis in the later days. Basically, the equipment for football has dramatically improved over the past 25 years. Basically, new technology and new materials are always, coming forward and definitely helping the athlete be the better athlete they can, be safer, and to basically there's also some programs to help the players be the best they can and to make the player wiser, and knowing what and how to do something. Safety equipment is definitely key, and most of it includes shoulder, knee pads, and helmets. Also, proper shoes is a must as well.